my mother went the Adam and Eve route, and you're gonna be all in love the first time you have sex, yada yada yada. That's not the route I took with Haley. Because the reality is, a lot of the issues and a lot of the mistakes girls make when they're young is because they are so uneducated about sex. So my thing with her, even it's been graphic. We watch videos. I probably get on her nerves, but not porn.
We're back. It's the same day, same back channel. We're still sipping Thug Passion.
No, right. We ain't sipping Thug Passion.
We're a group, man. We ain't all for one for all.
That's what we doing. Wait a minute. I thought we were here. I thought you were. No, we here. No, we ain't sipping Thug Passion. We ain't.
We got Thug Passion in the room. We got Jack Daniels Tennessee Apple in the room. We got a bottle of half open wine in the room.
And a single barrel select.
We got some wine called Cheap Thrills.
Hey, Cheap Thrills is where it's at. That's my baby wine. But we're back. This is Three Brothers No Sense. We're going to do it a little different this time. I still have my co-host here, and the room's gotten even fuller. So we started with just a few, and now we're many. And the liquor's flowing. We're drinking. We're pre-gaming for the pre-game.
Tonight gonna be so bad.
Yeah, tonight's gonna be bad.
I might not make a parade.
What parade?
We already said we weren't.
But we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna go around the room and let people tell who their favorite person on the podcast is.
Oh, what if I don't get no votes?
You got votes.
You got votes. I might not get no votes.
I might not get no votes.
She got you.
So started with Jennica.
Oh, so the wives gonna just pick their spouse?
Or starting with me.
Just listen. Right.
So I'm gonna let y'all know my favorite podcast person is Byron.
Why would you think her thing was rising? It would be. Sherman is above rising right now.
He tells the best stories, literally. And I'm literally, every time he talks on the podcast, I laugh.
Oh.
So, yeah, he wins for me.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
All right, so this is Sabrina, Ferg's wife, and I'm slightly biased, on this one, but my favorite is Ferg.
Oh, he's the quarterback of this thing.
Not as fun,
Walker.
It's the truth. So, I love his perspective on things and the fact that he's been able to just bring everyone together so we can hear all of you, and a different side of you. So, honestly, I like everyone, but my favorite has to be Ferg.
So real quick, I saw Sabrina for the first time in a few years yesterday. And Ferg didn't know whether to swing on me or say thank you, because I saw Sabrina. I said, look at Sabrina looking like an extra on She's Gotta Have It. Like, whoa, what? Is that good?
I still don't know how to take that, bro.
She just had this New York style to her, man. You know what I mean?
That's my
Appreciate that. I'm like, she got it moved all the time on the show.
We have fun.
So this is Tabitha. So of course, I'm gonna choose Byron, but I love the topics. I guess I have to say why I love the topics that he brings to the table, and I also love the stories. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Rozzy, because you always like, see, Rozzy know what he's talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So far, Rozzy has no votes.
I probably won't get any votes. I'm good with that.
See, this is Erica, and my favorite special guest is Terrell.
Caveat, there's only been one guest.
Now, I'm going to tell tell you, I have an affinity for all three of the brothers, but it's something about Rozzy. Like his Nerdland is so refreshing. I think I like all three of you all because you all do represent a different type of brother. You know, you all are well educated, well positioned in the society, and you all like are so positive. You know what I'm saying? So, but that Nerdland, Rozzy will talk about stuff that I'm like, yo, he's a special kind of dude.
He is a special guy.
And one other thing with Rozzy that had me laughing when he's like slip and slide, you know, from South Florida.
There you go. Yeah.
Anybody else? Cooley.
Hey, what's up? This is Sherman. First of all, let me say, I don't know what bees on Orazio's mind. And my wife was right, you know, with the whole Nerdland thing. We were just listening the other day, and I was like, yo. And I think Buff mentioned it while Orazio and Ferg were having a conversation about the Mandalorian or whatever it's called.
Peak nerd.
And yeah, he was like, this is like peak geek talk.
Say all that. Dang, you just said nerd one time.
So, I'm not here for that.
Okay.
It's always been tough on you. It's always been tough on you.
Yes. Cooler didn't like me. He didn't even want me to be SWAT.
I didn't like
Nobody liked you.
Nobody liked you, bro.
Don't just say Cooley.
Hey, somebody let me in SWAT.
Nobody liked you.
Ferg let you.
Ferg loved you.
I remember when he introduced you, I was like,
Hey, Ferg, it's the best decision you ever made, bro.
That's the best decision.
Second best decision.
See how I did that? See how I did that?
Rozzy coming into the family was the second best decision.
Cool.
I can admit when I was wrong, bro. I ain't had a brother like you. Ferg is too PC for me. I am not PC. Like I told, and actually in a private conversation, I told Buff, I was like, bro, I'm like Riley.
oh yeah.
From the Boondocks. I still call gay. There ain't nothing wrong with it. No. Nothing is wrong with it.
Gay can be gay.
But gay is still gay.
Gay is still gay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
That's how it's not disparaging.
It's not disparaging.
Right.
It's just when you say that's gay.
Oh, you say that's gay.
I feel like to each his own.
He says it all the time.
Oh, I see the truth coming out over here, right? All this political correctness. Put him on blast. But all that being said, my favorite obviously is Buff. Byron is my favorite with the podcast. I do, as one of the ladies said, I do like the topic. Subject matter is always funny to me. I tend to agree more with his point of view of things. Like I said, Orazio comes out of left field. A lot of times I'm literally riding in my car listening to whatever, and I'm like, I don't know what's on this ninja's mind.
Say it out loud.
What is he thinking about? Ferg, like I said, it's just a little bit too PC for me. When he's talking about being cisgendered and all that, I'd be like, Negro, please.
Worked on though.
But you know, I mean, everybody has their own take. I think that's what makes the show so special.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
You know, but Byron is just a little bit closer to my point of view with things, and he delivers it in a way that is more digestible to me. So
Y'all argue the same way. Like y'all use the same style of debate.
that's my dude.
Y'all have been
Hey,
debating.
we love feedback, man. I didn't know you was gonna ask that, but we really appreciate that, everybody. I think I got two. I think I won. Did I win?
You won.
Did I get the most?
You won.
You want?
Let me say something.
Remember, he's had third passion. So just remember that.
No, it's not about that. Actually, it's about the thug passion because I caught a lot of slack for bringing that thug passion in here. Now, ask me what my cup is. Ask me what my cup is.
Oh, Erica!
Well, and it looked like it's Byron winning. And some heart shaking.
Oh yeah, Byron, you
has drank all.
Byron. Oh
She saved my brother.
yeah. Hey Byron, your prize for being a favorite host.
I was trying to figure
man. What's up?
Your prize for being the favorite host is a big piece of heart chicken.
Also, man, listen. No, I eat hearts. That's fine. But before are we gonna get into some questions?
Yeah, we're gonna let them.
I just want to say real quick while he's here in the building. Wendell did not appreciate me telling that story about the Bobos. And he apologized for that. He said, man, we was young, we was little, but I'm sorry about that. So he really is, he's very apologetic for that. He didn't mean it. And so I accepted his apology.
I've never heard him apologize.
So if you see Slim in the streets, don't give him a hard time for janking me about my Bobos.
Have you ever heard him apologize?
When I thought I was going to get some Reebok pumps. All right, we good?
Yeah. All right,
I'm gonna say I'm sorry again. My bad. But see, as I got older and started paying bills myself, I see how you so, shout out, rest in peace, Pops. You know, love you. But, my bad. All right, man. All right. So
and for the folks at home, y'all don't understand how big it is for Wendell to actually apologize.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard him apologize.
Because usually Wendell's apology is, you drinking something? Let's go. Like, that's his apology. Like, he's like, we just going to go drink something. We good. So
he called me earlier today cussing me out. So
he apologized and cusses at the same time.
So, was that your question or you got?
No, I just wanted to open up the show with that. Okay. So
yeah, I like that. Man. But we got to pay some bills, though.
Oh, yeah, we do got to pay some bills.
Yeah, let's pay some bills.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
We're back. We're going to do it a little different this time. Three Brothers, No Sense. For you guys that don't know, we have a room full. This is a live podcast here in Mobile, Alabama. Sitting here with our friends and families. And so we're going to actually field a couple of questions from the audience. So what do you guys have for us?
All right. Since you all have been back in Mobile, what brands do you notice no longer exist that existed when you were younger?
Oh, it seems like when you say brands, you're talking about
brands like whether it's a retail store or a grocery store.
Well,
some of the things that you experience.
I'm gonna start with this because it changes every 2 years anyway. Go on fishing. Like, go on fishing. It's almost like a game to me. Like, what is there now?
That's on Mobile Street.
It's been gone.
It's Momo's right now.
How long has it been Momo's?
For at least 2, 4.
So they closing soon. Every 5 hours. They gonna close soon. Gone Fishing was there.
That was me and Tabitha's go-to spot too, yo.
Yeah, y'all were fancy. The rest of us used to do Loves.
Oh, I get it.
Get us a pop.
And they're like a little.
My cousin just told me Loves is still here.
Loves right there.
Right down the street.
I did not know.
Hey man, go. Hey, we can have Loves. We can do Loves do Uber Eats. Give me a pop.
Y'all used to work at one of them. That's no longer there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Dale Champs, Dale Champs is closed down nationwide. They went bankrupt, and I was sad actually.
Dixie over here.
So with Dixie,
it's a Piggly Wiggly now. It's a Piggly Wiggly.
Win Dixie, man.
So, but yeah, Dale Champs, that was sad to see it go. Like all of them closed down. The other one for me was. There used to be a Love's over on St. Stephen's Road by my house, and that one shut down. And it's been 4 or 5 other things since then. So that one shut down, and there's a little Chinese shop. I don't even know the name of the Chinese shop right there on St. Stephen's Road in Pritchard or in Whistler.
By your crib.
By my spot, yeah, like by my mom's house. And
something like that.
I don't know. We just called it the Chinese store.
Chinese place.
It was the Chinese store. So they shut down, and so that was sad too. because it's one of those things that you remember walking down the street, going to get a fried rice or something like that, and then being able to drive by, and not being able to see it anymore, kind of sucks. So those are kind of the big three for me.
We was riding down Airport Boulevard, and we noticed Steinmart was going, and that was like one of Tabitha's first real jobs. Is West still here? West is gone.
What's at the mall?
Everybody worked at West.
Oh yeah,
West is gone.
I worked at West
freshman year.
I did. That was another job I had. I forgot about that one. That was like a summer thing.
We just stopped showing up. Halfway through.
Okay, well, Slim is telling me Steinmart is still there, so I don't know. But what Rosio said with Dale Shamps, I gotta choose that one too, because I remember when we first moved to Westmobile, we were right by Dale Shamps, and Dale Shamps to me was like the top tier grocery store at the time. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, we live near Dale Shamps. So that was a big thing, and to see all of them gone now, that's like crazy to me, because that was Whole Foods before Whole Foods to me.
Yeah.
Trust me, it wasn't.
But it was nice though. It was so nice. They had the little food section. You can go eat lunch and everything like that with like seats and stuff. Man, it was mad nice. Like
it was nice. Gaffer's is gone too.
Gaffer's is gone.
What's still
Parisians?
My dad worked at Parisians.
Parisians been gone so long.
It's built or something.
Yeah, I thought y'all said Parisians was still there.
No.
Parisians gone.
Yeah,
Gaffer's was Gaffer's was lit.
The Dolphin Street movie theater.
Yeah.
What do y'all know about that? Like,
that's
man.
Towns first day.
Yeah, man.
The Northside Chicken Change over there?
It is still there.
That ain't going nowhere. Like, if that shuts down, I don't want to be here.
Me and Tab's first date was at Dolphin Street Movies. We went to go see Sunset Park. That's our first date, yo. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
It was a Popeyes in front of that Dolphin Street.
They need to bring back the dollar
you could walk and go get you some Popeyes and then go to the movie.
Yep.
But that was me and Tab's first date.
What's the little store usually by the dollar movie that y'all used to go to before the dates
and steal a bunch of candy?
I ain't want to say.
I ain't saying that.
Nobody stole anything. We always paid full retail price.
Far more.
Who did more? I didn't. But
who did? I didn't.
That's what's at y'all.
This is Sherman, probation officer. And all,
neither did I. I only stole a York peppermint patty when I was 5, and I told my background investigator about that when I got hired. So that's all I've ever stolen.
All right. Who's up next? Who's our next
question? There was one question I asked.
On my list, you gonna ask.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any double standards for boys and girls for sex?
Yes.
Well, for you guys that didn't hear that was Sherman. I said
yes. Well, since you answered up, Sherman, what are those double standards?
I'm surrounded in here by
the crowd. Can you face the crowd?
I'm in here with 1, 2, 3, 4. I make the 5th man. And all of them will lie to you to your face. If they tell you they're not going to feel different about their son's first sexual experience versus their daughter's.
I agree.
That's just the truth of
you
the
can
matter.
feel the difference, but you can't treat them different.
Yes, Jennica,
I don't know how you feel.
Right. Yeah, that's not real.
It's his opinion. See, that's why you can't be on the podcast all full time.
What I'm speaking is real life. I'm not speaking about what's right and wrong. I'm talking about real life. We live in the real world. We see things that are wrong that happen every day, all kind of injustices that go far beyond
what's real ain't always right.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say I'm not speaking about what's real, what's right and what's wrong? I'm speaking about real.
Do we need a mic over there?
When it comes to Sophia and Oliver or Haley, when it comes to if they decide that they didn't want to do it,
get her a mic, bro.
We're gonna treat them all three the same.
We start over.
Go ahead, say it again.
When it comes to the 3 that we're concerned with, when the day that they didn't come down to it, it's all the same. We're not gonna treat Ollie, praise him because he did it. and shame Sophie and Haley because they
You might not.
He's not either. Because I'm not going to allow it.
Not to you, he's not.
He's not. That's not how it rolls.
Right,
You're mighty quiet over there, brother.
Ain't gonna get you in trouble, dog.
We talk about everything in that house, how front to back.
I mean, this is what I'll say that should be consistent. You want your children. I don't have any children, but I would imagine, and I was actually just having this conversation with my nieces yesterday because I don't have children. They're very close to me. That I would imagine you want your children to be responsible.
Yes,
to
all
be
of
safe,
them responsible.
all of them, and to be smart about what they do. Now, as a man, the conversation I have with my nieces, like, stay away from these ninjas. This ain't gonna be the same conversation I have with my nephew. It's not going to be.
So I want to. Okay, hold on. Hey,
telling your niece.
But telling them to stay away from them is retarded. Like, that's stupid.
Okay, all right. Hey guys.
You're telling your nieces not to get started out. That's what you really mean.
This isn't Maury. This isn't Jerry Springer. Okay. Okay, hold on. It's not a debate. What this is we allow him to have his say, and then if you want to respond, we will let you respond, and that's it. But this isn't no back and forth. So go ahead.
What I'm saying, you're absolutely right, by the way. What I am saying, and I actually told my niece that when I was like, okay, my nieces are they're very polar opposites. Yeah. One, and this actually kind of ties into the short story. One is at Phillips, the other is not. You can tell the difference. But so when I'm speaking with them and I'm telling one, and I'm like, stay away from these ninjas, this, that, and the third. And as I tell her that, and I'm walking her to the door, kiss her goodnight, I'm telling her, yeah, and I know you're not gonna do that. So that's ridiculous. And she's like, oh no, they're disgusting. They're this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, right.
Don't blame me.
Just be smart. You're a good girl. You're very responsible. You're a very beautiful, attractive young lady. Be smart. This, that, and the third. At the same time, when my brother calls me and like, your niece has done this, that, and the third, and it's just gonna be different than when my other brother called me about Khalil, my little nephew. It's gonna be like, she did what? Who is this dude? And it's so on and so forth. When my other brother called me about my nephew, it's gonna be like, where? Everything good, right? My nephew growing up. That's okay.
Okay, all right.
At least you're honest.
And Jennica, you got to hold it to everybody else answers because as the person who asked the question, you respond last. So we'll go around, brother Byron.
Well, the last episode, Sherman said he and our answers aligned closely, and this is one of those instances. I agree. I have a daughter, so I'm just going to be a lot more vivid. If I ever come in the house when she's 16, 17, 18, and she's getting folded up, my reaction to that is going to be a lot different than if I had a son and I walk in. I mean, I'm sorry, it's wrong. God's still working on me, but it's just different. It's just different, man. It's like, it shouldn't be that way, but I agree with Sherman. It's just,
and so this is where Sherman doesn't like me. Is what?
Before you go, I will say though, with my son, I definitely would want to, you want to make sure protection. Like something my dad told me is like, there are girls out there that are trying to trap you and all that stuff, which may or may not be true, but that's something he told me. So it definitely wouldn't be like just high fives. It'd be like, you got to protect yourself. You got to look out. You want to treat women with respect. I definitely would try to instill the great values in him or whatever. But initially, my reaction is going to be heartbreak with a daughter versus with a son. It's like, okay, he shouldn't be doing it in my house, but okay. Yeah, so
this is where I'm not going to say I differ, but in addition to that. So when you say I'm PC, so one thing I think I always try to do is I try to approach everything from a neutral standpoint. And so my natural reaction from 38 years of being a man, exactly what your insurance said. So even most of my comments are like, I look at my natural reaction and then I try to challenge it. Like, is that right? The same thing we're saying, just because it's the norm doesn't mean it's right. So yes, I have a 4-year-old daughter. If that day comes, I walk in and I catch her in the act, I'm going to be heartbroken. I'm like, I'm just saying, I'm using this example. Because you catching them because that's the only time you're going to find out. You ain't going to find out any other time. What I'm saying is because
I folded up.
I can't be that graphic. I don't even want to think about it. But my natural reaction would be the exact same. I mean, no man wants to think that. No man wants to see that. And so it's definitely different. Same thing with my son. If I catch him, it's going to be like, man, what do we talk about? And then back in your mind, I'm like, my ninja. Like, that's how you think. But then how I react and how I try to approach it, because I try to understand and try to think outside the box. That, just like you said, you telling your niece this, but are you setting up for failure? Like, are you really keeping this way men think, or the way men are supposed to hover sex around women, this whole thing going? So my thing is, I want to approach it the same way. Like, I'm not saying I will, but that's my goal. My goal is because I want to teach my son and daughter. I want to teach my son and my daughter the same thing. I want to have special treatment for my son and special treatment for my daughter. Yeah. Because I think also what you're doing is, just like going back to that T.I. thing, what happened was, even though he might have had the best of intentions, if you talk to women, what they're hearing, what he's teaching his daughter is like, this man has control of your body. There's certain things that we're teaching our women or our daughters that we have to be careful with, just because it makes us feel comfortable. And like I said, it's not my natural reaction, but I also, like, a lot of my comments I think through, because it's not my natural response. I'm always thinking, hey, why are a lot of our women so hurt? Why are a lot of women? How do our women approach it? Like, we're telling all our girls don't have sex with guys, but we tell our son, go out there and have sex with as many girls you have, or how many? We all grew. How many girls? You 8 years old. How many girlfriends?
No, that's true.
So we're from a very young age, we're teaching them different things, and we expect it all just to work out perfectly. Well, we need to start like, hey, you know what? Like you said, I want to teach them. My daughter's 4, so it's a long time from now. But like, I want to think that I'm open enough to say, like, hey, I can't stop you from doing anything, but this is how I want you to treat sex and be responsible. Always be in control of your situation. Same thing with my son. Hey, don't be in control of your situation, because I don't want to have any teen pregnancies. I don't want any of those things. I want them to be responsible with sex. I don't want them to be jaded or heartbroken or like all these other things that people are dealing with. It's especially now in today's society. So, like I said, if I walk in, my initial reaction might be to choke somebody out. But I try to practice before that. Like, I try to say, okay, we've already had this conversation. That would have worked that way? I don't know. But I like to think that I have the control and I'm instilling certain things in my household to make it work.
All right. So Jennica started it off and she gave an answer for our household.
She answered for you.
She did answer for me too.
Better line up with her.
So, but I get in trouble all the time, right? So why not now?
Why not now?
No.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, brother.
Actually, I'm a little bit more aligned with Ferg. Like, in my mind, I'm going to treat them differently. Like, I'm going to respond differently in my mind. I'm definitely going to be super heartbroken and, oh my God, she's having sex, when my daughters tell me they're having sex versus when my son tells me he's having sex, or if I walk in on him or something like that. That's going to be different. But what I'm saying is how I react to it after I think through it, after it hits my mind, after I actually get past the oh my God versus high five, you got a son. I mean, that's probably going to happen in my
got it.
Damn.
I wasn't going to say that.
So
Montana. There you go again. Speaking of that thinking. My man. Sounds like Dave Chappelle with Oprah Winfrey. Got you.
I mean, that's the exact same thing Cooley said.
That's what I got from it.
When I say I boil everything down, like y'all can talk around it all you want, but I'm just saying really what he said. What he said is, I'm gonna be like, all right, awesome job, son. If I catch them, that's. Man. In your head, that's what you're saying because that's what we've been taught by the patriarchy. It is what it is. And talking about your TI thing, I just want to throw that in there. Inspecting the hymen is actually false. There's no such thing as inspecting the hymen and being able to see if a person's a virgin. It's like a rubber band. It snaps back. So you good. You ain't got to worry about that. So there's no way to do that. So if anybody is thinking they're going to actually inspect their daughter's hymen, please don't do that. Because it's stupid. And on top of that, it's not true. But anyway, back to my answer. So that's my initial reaction, right? Yes, high five versus, oh my God, I'm dying inside. Now, after I get past my initial reaction, though, I do have to look at, they had sex. One way or the other, boy or girl, they had sex. How are we going to take care of this? All right. Are you on birth control? Are you using protection? Do you know what this means? Do you know what can happen from this? Like, there's never going to be a point that either one of them, Haley or Oliver, is going to be laid up with their boyfriend in the upstairs or the girlfriend upstairs while I'm in the house type thing. That's never going to happen, boy or girl. But when you talk about, I've had this conversation with Haley, like when I was like, you still not having sex, right? And like hoping she says no. And, I'm not even going to say what she said. That's, between me and her. I'm not T.I. But, the thing about it is we've had that conversation and I'm going to continue to have that conversation. And how I react to it, I do feel like it's going to be the same. It's going to be, you're having sex. Let's talk about the responsibilities that come with that, and let's go forward with it. Like that's all I can do. We know growing up in high school, our parents was talking abstinence. They were like, "Don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, boy or girl." And did that stop us? Like so. Being able to, us saying that to our kids isn't going to stop them. All we can do is actually raise them and say, now that I've raised you to be a responsible adult and I really taught you about sex, then it's up to you to actually partake or not of that. And I've got to trust that you're doing the right thing behind it. That's it. That's all I can do. So that's my answer.
Ferg and Buck, I got a question. Oh, Lord. Now, deep down inside, you probably will say, yeah, I'm a son. But what if it's with the same sex? Now, your whole attitude's going to change then.
Plot twist.
Now, if your son in there with another guy, you're not going to be saying yes. It's a different time. We were raised different than what's going on now. Now, this is a good plot twist. We've
reconsider. We
got a lot of chatter going on here right now. So if you didn't hear, Slim just asked if you catch your son in there with the same sex.
Oh Lord!
I have definitely tried to evolve in my thinking of that lifestyle, and I think I'm much more accepting of it than I was maybe 10 years ago. People should be allowed to love who they love. So if that's the way, and I've said if I had a son and I found out he was gay, I would still love him. And if that's how you find out that he's gay, I feel like if you're paying attention to your son, you should have some clues before that moment. But if you walk in and that's how you find out, I mean, when Big Dog, what's up? There may not be no signs. I know some cats. They tough. They tough now. All right, but and they don't smack their lips. Well, they don't well. If that's how I found out. If that's how I found out. First off, if I catch my son having sex with a girl, don't get me wrong. My first answer, he's in trouble. he's in trouble. Okay, there is some type of punishment coming with it. All right. There's some kind of punishment coming with it. So if I catch him with another guy, he's also in trouble. And then we're gonna have a talk about, him living a same-sex lifestyle. But I'm still gonna love him. Like, his sexuality is not in any way gonna make me love him less or love him different. So he's still in trouble. I'm not gonna lie. This is a moment of honesty. I'm pretty sure my initial reaction will be like, I don't want to say it on air, but it would definitely be different than if I caught him with a woman.
I agree, man. I think I've evolved, and kind of my theme I've been saying all episode is I try to challenge the way I've been taught, the way I've been raised, because just because we were raised a certain way doesn't mean it's the right way. My initial reaction will probably be shock. If I agree, there's a lot of times you should be able to discern and pick up on things, but if it just came as a shocker to me, I think it'll be the same thing as just walking on my daughter, like at a very young age, it's like, oh my God. But then you accept your situation, not accept, but you realize the situation you're in and you just keep going with it. There's nothing that my son or daughter can do that's going to change the way I feel about them. I don't think sexuality defines anybody. I think we put too much focus on sexuality. Like if my son chooses to love a man, but he's still a good kid, still good grades, still doing all the things that we ask him to do, but he chooses to love somebody else, I can't change the way I feel about him because of that. All of us here are heterosexuals, but that doesn't define any of us. We don't look at any like, okay, Wendell's a good person because he chooses to love women. I look at what are the characteristics of my kid. Now, my thing as a father was wanting to protect my kids from anything that I can and understand the world we live in and how other people might perceive him or her. Perceive him or her will always be a concern of mine, but that's what I'm here for as a parent, is to stick by my kids and support them and help them be the best that they can be. So I'll be shocked, maybe, but hey, it is what it is.
So my answer is kind of along the same lines as before. Truthfully, I may react more so towards the girl side, die a little bit inside at first. Just be honest. Let's just call it what it is. Everybody wants their son to be homosexual or heterosexual, right? So heterosexual, right? That's kind of what you hope, like, because of the normalcy of it all, and so that's what you're thinking. You want your kid to be normal, so that they don't have to come through all of that. But then after that, once I get past that shock, like Ferg said, I'm back in that same situation. Are you having safe sex? What it is. It doesn't change how I feel about my child. The only difference is the initial reaction that happens when I see it. Because if I didn't know it was coming. If I've known since, they were 5, 6 that, they kind of showing signs, then at that point, there's not going to be a lot of surprise with it. It's just going to be like, all right. And again, back to that kind of boy thing, I probably won't high-five him, but at the same time, I'm probably not going to die inside. So it just really depends on the situation. And then from there, we just move forward exactly as if any of the other situations happen. I really feel like once we get past the shock and awe, we are on the same level footing, boy, girl, or whatever.
Mothers, anybody have anything different to say?
Well,
Mia, first lady.
Thank you. Okay, this is Allison, and back to the sex topic. I feel like my mother went the Adam and Eve route, and you're gonna be all in love the first time you have sex, yada yada yada. That's not the route I took with Haley. Because the reality is, a lot of the issues and a lot of the mistakes girls make when they're young is because they are so uneducated about sex. So my thing with her, even it's been graphic. We watch videos. I probably get on her nerves, but not porn.
As we only know one video.
The video we watched was just about the semen fertilizing the egg. because a lot of guys will tell young girls who don't know anybody, you can't get pregnant your first time. This can't happen your first time.
Yeah.
And I want her to see these are the odds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you play with these odds, that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And not only nowadays, not only do you have to worry about being pregnant, you have to worry about STDs and stuff that won't go away, stuff that can kill you. So I've always been very honest with her, and I hope she's been honest with me. But I mean, and I'm worse than a dad. Like, if she told me, I would be devastated, but only because that's my baby.
Hey, you want to talk to the mic?
You know, it's gonna happen. It's natural. It's gonna happen. So the best I can do is just educate her and prepare her, and hope that she makes the best decisions when the times come.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there has been times when I thought, you know, maybe my baby had crossed the line because her friends, you know, and I was a little worried. But I would love her either way. Like, I would be hurt because I really want grandbabies, but I would love her either way. Like, even though she's a girl, because a lot of people assume it's harder to accept a boy than it is to accept a girl. But it would be hard to, I'm not going to say it would be hard to accept, but it would be hard to hear initially. But either way, I love her, and I'm going to love her no matter what or who she chooses to love. So
I like the first word.
She brought up a great point. I only have one child, and I have a daughter. And if she chooses that lifestyle, then I really want to be a grandparent and have grandkids. So that would.
Well, it's possible. You can still be a grandparent.
Yeah.
You just have the traditional one.
yes.
Allison, I like the choice of words you went instead of accept. You say it'll be hardest to hear. Because I and once again, maybe this is a political correct me or me just thinking deep, like there's nothing to accept, you know, like it's just a lifestyle.
It is what it is.
You know, it is what it is. So, you know, when we say we're accepting it, it's almost like, okay, I'm gonna love you regardless of, you know, whatever you did. And it's like
Tolerating your kids.
it's tolerating.
Yeah,
you know, I know Sherman don't like to hear it, but that's just me. You know, I'm a huge family, so I know people that live that lifestyle, and they're still great people. So it's nothing to accept or change or anything like that. So, anybody else? I think we got time for one more question.
Did you want to close it out?
Did you
asked it.
Answer the question? You didn't answer it? I wouldn't treat our kids any different whether they decided they were going to be gay or anything. I'm going to love them regardless, whatever. But because I don't see any difference in people. But if I walked in on Sophie versus Ollie getting booty in our house, it's going to be the same reaction. I'm snatching everybody up. Like, bruh, why you getting booty in my house?
Is it in your house or not just like finding out, but just in the house?
If I find out, you just going to tell me. We got to sit down and have a conversation. But if I walk in on it, everybody gets snatched up, boy or girl. Like, I don't really care.
That answer.
Like, but if you tell me about it, then we're going to sit down and have a conversation about it because cool beans. Like, what you want me to do about it now? You already did it. Like, now we've got to talk about birth control, and you know, if you ever have a baby, your life is on lock. Like, no more freedom. But you go to work, go to school, come home.
But we're all talking about.
So you better not never do that.
We're talking about the aftermath. I don't think we really talked about the conversation we were having beforehand.
Oh,
except for Allison.
You definitely teach him about that along
But
the
he teach him the same
I just
thing
appreciate the throwback term, getting booty. I like that.
You hang on to that roll. They're hilarious.
You get booty in my house.
We got time for one more question.
My wife won't step up.
So I don't believe I've heard this question before. I know that you guys talked about mentors and how you looked up to each other for certain things or, you know, different parts of each other's lives. What would be the best relationship advice that you would give someone if they're seeking to have a similar type of relationship that you have?
I would say marry your best friend if you can, because when it comes to your friends, you tend to want to be loyal. That's somebody that you have fun with. You usually have similar interests, and those are like good foundations for the type of relationship that somebody would want, or marriage or whatever. So if you can marry your best friend, I think that is a big help. Tabitha is my best friend. Like, whenever I get any kind of good news, she's the first person I want to share it with. Anything great or good that happens to me, I tell her. Anything bad happens to me, I tell her, I've cried in front of her, so marrying your best friend is a big help to me, in my opinion, because your best friend, you have all of those traits that you need as far as with a monogamous, committed relationship, and then you add on, whatever feelings you have for that woman or man, and it all ties together and it helps out. So that's what's worked for us. We've been married 13 years.
You better get it right.
She got it wrong. She got it wrong yesterday. She said 12 years. We got married in 2006, so 13 years. So
don't matter if she get it wrong. It only matters if you get it wrong.
You're right.
I know.
You're right.
There's a lot of double standards.
Exactly. So that's my answer to that. And Ferg, I wish you had got all spicy, by the way. But
my bad. I know Razi's his talent can't take. Like,
I'm gonna stop being the butt of all these jokes.
Right, we'll see. I think my two real quick. One is always remember their intent or consider their intent, because you're not going to see. Remember, you're two different people with two different life experiences. And you're not going to always see eye to eye. And if you truly think this person is the person who has your back no matter what, like, there's going to come a situation where, I can't believe you just did that. And it could be just, they think differently. And it's not, they could be, it's most likely they think differently. We're not going to see eye to eye. Like, there's going to be things I'm going to do that I'm going to go with the best intent, and the end result might not be what she wanted, but my intent was the thing. I don't think, and I can honestly say, not just because my wife's sitting here, I don't think there's anything she's done in the 11 years we've been together that she had malintent. Like, she really was trying to get over on me. So even when I got upset, it's like, maybe she just didn't understand what I was thinking. Or, I tell people, like, we're men. Sometimes we're just stupid. Like, I had great intent. I was just stupid. The perfect example is when we had our first child, our daughter, and I was describing her pregnancy. My degree's in biology. I was a medic in the Army. I know the technical terms and all this stuff. I'm describing her delivery. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced. But to her, it's so, it's so personal. Like, no woman, all the stuff that goes on with your body, she doesn't want to share that with the world. But I'm like, yeah, and the doctor did this, and he had to do this, and he did this, and this, and then we got worried because of this. And for her, that was personal. And that was really like not a huge argument, but it was like, we're getting ready to leave the hospital in what's supposed to be one of our happiest experiences thus far. And we're like not talking almost. Then I had to, like, before we get in this car, before we pull off, let's get this understood. Like, my intent was great. Like, I'm describing the birth of my child. Like, that was all I was doing with the woman I love. Maybe I talked a little too much. Maybe I went a little too much detail, but I wasn't trying to embarrass you or anything like that. So I think after a while, she's like, okay, your intent was pure. You're just stupid. I mean, but I think that's what it's like. But sometimes it's like we're not going to see eye to eye. It's just like, like Razi does it all the time. He's trying to describe his wife in a loving manner, but sometimes his intent is to tell how much he loved her and describe their experience. Like,
her
gripes about the show are things I might say, but my intent was always great. It's just maybe how it came out wasn't perfect. And the last thing is to put each other first. There's so many things that come in life, including kids, where you end up being, think about all the things that can happen in your life that you put before your spouse. And when they become the third, fourth, fifth most important thing in your life, and you wonder why that marriage is starting to wane, that's part of the reason. Like, we make it a point to try to spend time together. Our daughter knows, like, maybe it's me. Like, we like, hey, that's my wife. Like, why are you talking to my wife like that? Or we let her know that she can't come between me and her mother. Because there's going to come a day when my daughter and my son leave our house. They're going to find somebody they love, and they're gone. And now we're going to be looking at each other like, nice to meet you. Like, I don't know who you are, because we've been so busy raising the kids for the last 20 plus years that we've lost each other. So I have to dedicate myself, and she has to dedicate herself to me consistently. There's nothing that's going to ever happen that my kids or our kids won't be our kids. So put each other first and everything. It's not always easy, but it's always something you got to strive to do. So
It's true.
Oh,
You said that.
you about to jump on that? Yes.
All right.
I thought me and Taylor had an understanding that we disagree with that line of thought, but I guess she changed her mind. Okay.
intent. Well, I don't know your intent on that one. That was just dope.
Jasmine comes first, and I guess I've always thought of it from the standpoint of if you're hanging from a cliff and I'm holding on to both of you guys, and I can't hold on any longer, who do I let go? I let go Tabitha.
Well, that's different. I think that's different. I don't think.
let go of me.
Yeah, I think that's different because I agree. That's the same situation.
But
You can make another child.
that's an extreme case. But she's sitting here saying she agreed, but we always said.
I'm saying that don't become strangers. That's not what I said.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I don't believe in coming strangers. But we always came from the point of view of Jasmine came from.
She is.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure we're still on the same page.
Y'all always make sure each other are okay, so then your baby will always be okay too.
So we want to grow together. That's why we make a point to do things. We go on vacations. We try to do things. We try to have date night. We try to do things together so we can keep that. Byron, you know. Of course, she's the most important thing. That's not what Ferg was. I'm talking about what Ferg was talking about when he said that one day the kids
of your
relationship, so that when the children leave, you still have a relationship because you put time into your relationship over the years. And I've always agreed with that. Yes, we make time to have date night, even if it's just to go somewhere for the weekend, trips together, just so that we can kind of keep that relationship together, because life has a way of coming between that relationship, and the two of you have to consistently work on that.
We just stepped all over my man Rosie. Go ahead.
No, man, I wish she had the mic though.
I can hear. That's what I was checking. I can hear it, so I'm debating whether I can keep it in. I'm gonna try to keep it in.
So my thing about it, I love the question that you posed about the clip. So there's two, and even Sherman said it, two trains of thought. Some people say, hey, hey, you can make another kid. That's another train of thought. But it's also, if I pull my wife up, now two of us can pull my child up. And that's the way we look at it is, as long as I'm pouring into her, my daughter and my son will never go without. Like if my daughter gets me at 90, my wife at 90.
That's not how the scenario works. During Katrina, there's literally a man that had to make that choice. He had to let his wife go to save his kid. He didn't have to. He did. No, he did. He could not have pulled her up and held on to the child while successfully pulling her up. He chose to let the wife go because he couldn't.
And he chose the daughter, and that's the thing is, and I think that situation is different. I feel like the life or death situation, I'm hanging on to both. I agree. I'm dropping my wife. Jennica will tell you that is what we want. Just drop me, get the kid. That is totally different than we're living our normal life and we are combined front, and I have to pour into my wife, and I have to make sure that she is okay so that we can have a holistic relationship and a stable environment for the child. Because if Jasmine comes first, Jasmine can start to pit you and Tabitha against each other.
No, that's not.
So no, it's definitely true. They can divide you because if you're putting her first,
no, they can't.
Okay, so not in your house.
Not in your house.
But kids can be manipulated.
Kids can manipulate.
You shouldn't be letting kids manipulate you. Proceed.
So, but they can.
They should.
But anyway, we way off topic anyway.
Okay.
The actual answer to the question. So the question was, what was the question?
Best relationship advice.
Oh yeah, damn. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Y'all all to let kids go.
See.
How we get to Rowdy right there.
That's the question.
That's my bad. Go ahead, Ross.
Byron talking about dark turns earlier. That was a dark turn.
But no, the thing about it, y'all have one. Think about it, 3-4 kids. So you put four kids first. Tabitha's the fifth most important person in the household. That's different. You know, when you have Jasmine, you guys have a long history. You can build together for so long. You guys have, I think, a very unique situation. But when you have multiple kids, and like I've seen people that go through divorce, like my wife puts all 3 kids first, then her career, then my like. It's when you start looking at each other, it's like you're like passing like ships in the night.
I think the 4 kids will go first collectively, and then Tabitha second, not 5th.
Byron's not conceding this one. It's okay. It's all right.
So you got 4 kids you holding by them.
I mean, think about it. You talking about a kid who can't feed. I'm talking about like a new kid who can't feed. Tabitha can eat. She can feed.
But that's not
take care of herself. That's what I'm talking. This is my answer. This is what I'm talking about.
That's not the context.
I'm talking about.
That's not the context. It's more so, you know, we'll do things for our kids. Like, my daughter is my wife reincarnated. They both annoy the hell out of me. They know it.
Thanks, man.
But no, because the way they're very emotional and stuff like that. They're very emotional. That's so against what I am. But I love them to death. And there's times my daughter tried my nerves, but it's easier to forgive a 4-year-old for doing the exact same thing than it is for somebody who's older, because my daughter's 4, she doesn't know what she's doing. But your kid do something, you get like they know, not like innocent, but like they don't know the extent of it. Like when your spouse is doing something, you know, a lot of times they're doing this stuff on purpose. And so,
anyway,
but if y'all hold a grudge against a 5-year-old,
it don't matter because I'm cutting all that out. Anyway,
I apologize.
Anyway,
go ahead.
All right. Relationship advice. Have a relationship like me. I think you marry somebody that you can give the passcode to your phone to. Like, if you don't trust that person enough to give them the passcode to your phone, you shouldn't be marrying that person. Like, hands down. Like, my thing is...
I was Sherman on this one.
Look at Sherman.
I mean, y'all cool to date. Y'all cool to have fun with each other. It's one of those things that when you're ready to give them the passcode to your phone, that means that you know that y'all have enough understanding that if something happens, you get a random text from an old girlfriend or something like that. They understand the context. They trust you enough that y'all not about to get into it about this, because they can look at the history and see, I didn't text them first. They just text me. It is what it is. Like, there's no... hey, you must have been texting them or you must have been liking some pictures, and so that's why they felt like they could text you and why they still got your number and all this and that. It's like, if you get that random text, you get that random text. But, like, you shouldn't be so secretive and so behind, like, just hiding things that you feel like this person, I have to hide things from this person. Because if you have to hide things from that person, then y'all not ready to be married. So that's why I say being able to be open. If you still feel like you got a lock on your phone or whatever, but you got to be ready to be able to really feel like you can share everything with that person. Because if you can't share everything with that person, y'all shouldn't be married. Like, y'all really shouldn't. Because a marriage is a 100% dedication to each other.
I disagree with that.
So, with the phone or the dedication piece of it?
Share everything. You don't want to share everything. I don't want to know who Tabitha think is sexy. Don't share everything with me. No, keep some stuff to yourself. Don't share 100% with me. Whoever you think is sexy, keep it to yourself. I don't want to know.
That ain't gonna be on the phone though, is it?
No, but you said sharing everything.
I'm not that's context.
I don't know what you're saying 100%.
I don't have anything to hide, but it's still like
I made 2 pump chump up one day. Don't be like, babe, that was a sorry sex performance. Don't tell me that. You need to Jennica, it happens sometimes. Thank you very much. All right.
Yes, it does.
I'll come back later stronger. Thank you.
Well, this time they didn't take it. It can't be consecutive failures.
We know.
You keep it to yourself. Jennica is adamant about the 2 pump jump.
No. She over there, tell him the story.
Sometimes we need a minute.
No, I agree with Byron on this one. I agree with your concept, like you should be able to, in theory, but I also don't really like having to share. Like if I need to, yes, but like he was saying, or with her, like if she, let's say the girls were in a text group, and then all of a sudden, like my wife's, what is it, the list? What was it called?
Oh yeah, the hall pass.
Like if her hall pass went from 2 to 12, and you guys are talking back and forth, I don't want that. I don't want to hear that. I want you to keep some things to yourself, to the point like I just don't want to.
But the other part about that, I'm not saying you need to be in her phone looking for that. What I'm saying is, you should trust her enough not to need to go in her phone, and she needs to trust you enough to be able to give you the password that if I need to get in your phone, like if Jennica gets a call or she was like, hey, who texts me? I can unlock her phone and tell her who texted her. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I can go on her phone, and there's enough trust between us that she knows I'm not about to go searching through her phone, looking for stuff. I have enough trust in her that I'm not about to do it, and we can still go in the phones and unlock the phones if need be. That's what I'm talking about. That is the trust, the level of trust that you need to be in a relationship.
What I think he's saying is not that you have to tell everything, but you have to, like, it's there. If I want to tell you stuff, it's not going to come back as something bad or, you as bad.
I give an example. Somebody told me that they tried to look into their boyfriend's phone, and the boyfriend actually like stomped on the phone just so that she couldn't open the phone.
He cheating. He cheating, boo boo. I'm gonna tell you now. He cheating. He cheating. Get out.
He could have been hiding a surprise Christmas gift. Hey, y'all, always trying to tell a black man down.
That man might be a spy for all we know. He protected her. Now that you know, I gotta kill you. You just never know what men are going through.
Oh man, who's taking us home here?
Oh man, I don't even know.
Well, look, I'm gonna just say this has been extremely fun for me. When Sherman came on the episode, we talked about the last time the four of us were able to talk. But now we're all here in person, and Wendell was here. Like, our core friendship began with the six of us four, Wendell and Allison. And just to have all of us in this same building while we're recording this show, man, a more sensitive guy would be crying right now. Like, this has meant everything to me. It's been fun, extremely fun. And I just appreciate the turnout we had from Erica Cooley, Allison. Even Haley is in the building, we mentioned a few times on the show. So I'm just very thankful for that. Thank y'all for coming. I can't wait to listen to this episode. Like, I always look forward to listening to the episodes, but just all the input. My wife got on the microphone. She doesn't even like the sound of her voice. So the fact that she got on and asked questions and gave commentary, I can't wait to listen to this episode. So I'm grateful.
I echo that, man. You guys will probably hear it sounds different. We're trying to record in the whole room. This is our first live show, so we had to get equipment together and everything and scramble to do that. So it's gonna sound different, but we hope that the content and what was in it comes through, and you guys really feel the joy and the energy that we have. By doing this live, and this is why we wanted to do it live and bring all these folks together. We could have gotten in a closet or in a small room together and did a live show and it sound very good, but you wouldn't have felt this. And so hopefully you guys enjoy it and keep listening always, and we're on to the next.
Well, I'm gonna bring us home. Never in my wildest dreams did I think the show would turn out the way it did. When I talked to my wife, who's like my biggest supporter on everything I do, she's been trying to get me to write a book and all these types of things for years, just saying you have a lot to say and people want to listen because you have a different perspective. And when I came up with the idea of the podcast, she was fully behind it. And when I picked these two gentlemen and to think the fun and what it's turned into, like, Byron, almost every episode said, I never knew that about you. A lot of things we find out, hell, I never knew about myself until I come and say it on this podcast and bring it out. And I didn't even think about that. Razi is, outside of my lovely wife, is like my best friend. I've rocked with him through thick and thin for 20 plus years, and I'm still finding out things about him. And to come here this weekend with, as Buff said, the core six, this is where it all started, man. Like, this is, we fussed, fought, argued, cussed each other out, name it, we've done it. And for you guys to be the people that showed up today, and it's a beautiful thing. So I love it. This is Three Brothers No Sense. I couldn't ask for a better episode, regardless of what it sounds like. I had a blast. I don't care if anybody listens, but remember the 6 rules of podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly,
listen.